Good evening, everyone. System Chalk here with a rare Tuesday video, although we'll see whether or not YouTube processes it in time. This is going to be a video which is a little bit of an update on the Locksmith's Dream, and specifically it is about a way that you can sort of experience it. There's a few new options available for people, but more importantly, this is going to be about some ways that you can experience it at a lower price point. There's some discounts that are available as well as a contest, and we're going to be talking about that. But I also would like to, I'd also like to do a quick recap of the Locksmith Stream and just some other things that might have developed in terms of this event, which maybe you're not familiar with. So if you are looking to save some money, this is the video for you, but I'm going to make sure that everybody's on the same page to begin with. So for those of you that are not familiar with the Locksmith Stream, I should note that I'm actually going to be doing a more detailed video. Some of you may notice that there are some earlier videos that I did on this. This is before the beta event ran. So there have been a few of the events that have been run since. I think people have a clearer idea of what this is. I have only been hearing positive things about this so far, and you can start to see a few of the reviews on the website as well. But I think for those of you who are not familiar with the Locksmith Stream, it's actually kind of this extreme of a really interesting trend that's been happening with Cultist Simulator since it first came out. So obviously, Cultist Simulator is a video game, but they released sort of the Church of Merch, which is this store, number of different physical products. I have one of the notebooks from it, for instance, and they've got a tarot deck. I know there's going to be a second tarot deck released sometime this year. But essentially, these are physical objects, right? They're things that you can sort of hold on to and sort of experience. And probably the next big step for this was the release of The Lady Afterwards, which is, a tabletop RPG, and you can get a digital book for it. But the real intention behind that product was this sort of deluxe box set, which had, the tarot deck, but also some sheets, scented candles, just a lot of sort of precious things. And it's, again, just this physical, tangible thing, the sort of thing that you'd want to get some people close to you around and sort of all experience together. And I think it's a really clever idea because, again, once you go from the Church of Merch to something like the not the Locksmith Stream, The Lady Afterwards, you're getting a little bit more about just sort of sharing this experience and something that is more than just, I'm playing this game, but we're making a bit of a special event for this. So the Locksmith's Dream, like I said, this is, and actually I believe there's a new version of The Lady Afterwards. I think the Mysterious Package Company has a slightly different version with like letters and a few other things inside of it. But in any case, you get the idea of where the trend is going, that it's not just sort of a game that you play on a computer now, but the secret histories are all sort of a number of different things, and increasingly they're manifesting in the real world. And the Locksmith's Dream, again, is probably the furthest extreme you can go with this trend. Now, this is run by a company called Tricuspid Limited. Alexis Kennedy has done some writing on the Locksmith's Dream, but it is a separate company that's run by Ivan. Ivan is a friend of Alexis Kennedy. I believe he said in the AMA, it's kind of like a lifelong friend. But in any case, this is a very well thought out, very well put together event that sort of takes place in the secret histories. And the best way, you'll notice that the website actually struggles a little bit to explain what it is. I could almost sort of say that this is the this is the secret histories luxury vacation. So essentially what the idea behind this is that there is this centuries-old manor that's rented out in Wales, and the guests sort of arrive, they take on this identity, and it doesn't require knowledge of Cultist Simulator. I suspect one reason that they did this is because half of the people who are going to be attending are probably humoring their partners who are really into the secret histories. But obviously, if you are familiar with secret histories, there is going to be more than a little expansion on some of the material you may be interested in. But in any case, there's a big grand banquet. But I think the real idea behind this is to have this special getaway that you go to basically make it a vacation, but not just any kind of a vacation, the sort of thing where there are a number of opportunities sort of dangled in front of you. And I did get a chance to talk with Ivan about this. And I think the idea is that if they sort of built it I'm kind of quoting the person running it here. They built it so that if you just want to sort of sit in the pub and enjoy some cocktails and watch everything going on around you, you can. But there's so much to do, and there's so much sort of dangled in front of you. And of course, as the event goes by, it's increasingly more mysterious, and more of sort of the world of the secret histories is sort of starting to bleed through, and people are starting to wear masks and all of that. The idea is your curiosity should be getting the better of you, and it's this wonderful sort of experience generating, event. So it's a fascinating idea. I think it's really great that something like Cultist Simulator has touched people enough that this slightly crazy idea of actually getting a bunch of people who are into Cultist Simulator together in a single location to have this really special and mysterious experience. Again, the Cultist Simulator holiday. It's really cool. I've only heard positive things from the events that were run last year. So again, some of you are probably wanting to know where does the money come into this? So the email that I got today, and I did get to hear from from Ivan on this as well, is they're running some discounts. That's going to be the first thing for you. So, happy St. Valentine's. Did you know that St. Valentine was beaten and stoned and beheaded for helping people to marry? That's some pretty strong faith and love. According to Chaucer, it is on St. Valentine's Day when every bird comes there to choose his mate. Perhaps Chaucer himself was a secret symergist. For our celebration of the season of the heart, we have two special treats for you. Valentine's Day approaches. Symergists, hedonists, lovers, and rivals. Who could hear this and remain unmoved? Season of Ardors. The launch of the Curator's Cabinet went exceptionally well last month, and thankfully without any of the website issues of our initial launch last year. I've had tons of fun tying bows and attaching keys. First, we are offering a discount for Valentine's Week to all subscribers to the newsletter and anyone who signs up this week. To celebrate the 14th, we are giving you a 14% off any purchase, event bookings, or items from the Curator's Cabinet between today and the 21st of February. So this should be a full week available for all of you. Now, I am going to have to sort of close off the video for a quick second. And that's for the Valentine's Week competition, a prize worth up to £1,000. In addition, and most excitingly, we have a new competition. This time we're getting you thinking. Over the next few days, we will be releasing Portico's Puzzles. Each day, a new file containing curious and cryptic correspondence from the renowned journalist will be opened for you to scour. There will be a range of puzzles to play with, clues to unravel, and information to learn. On Friday, we will release the competition forum for you to share your knowledge. And if that wasn't fun enough on its own, one lucky winner will receive a 50% discount on a Locksmith Dream experience worth up to £1,000 and a round of chef special cocktails on the house. And I don't want to give away too much, but I do have a little bit of information on this. It is fair to say that the menu available at the Flint and Wheel Tavern. Sorry, I might have that name wrong. Sorry, not tavern, pub. Anyways, the menu at the pub may not be fixed, and there may be a few secret things available to you. So it might be worth saying. I don't mean to imply that the cocktails. I think they've got there's an opportunity to buy drinks ahead of time on the site, so the cocktails aren't that expensive, I believe. But needless to say, the round of chef special cocktails, this might be worth a little bit more than $1,000. But it says $1,000 here, so we'll go with what they say. Entry to the competition will remain open until Sunday night, the 19th, so there is time to put the pieces together. The first puzzle is a relatively straightforward one, but I'm going to leave that for those of you who signed up for the newsletter. So one of the reasons I wanted to do this video is it may not be obvious to you where to get this discount or this newsletter. So again, the discount is for people on the newsletter. I don't want to sort of disrespect the Locksmith's Dream by just giving away the discount without that. And obviously what they're trying to do is to expand the newsletter because, let's face it, this is not an easy thing to sort of get the word out on. And there are a few other opportunities kind of coming up. So if you want the discounts, and we're going to talk about a couple of other ways that you can go to the Locksmith Dream or otherwise experience it, in an affordable way, or at the very least to sort of change the impact. What you want to do is you want to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, and this is where the newsletter sign up is. And this is true for any page that you're on. So again, it's not necessarily obvious. If you don't know, locksmithstream.com, But essentially, any of the pages at the very bottom, there's going to be the newsletter sign up. And as they indicated, as long as you sign up for the newsletter with that week, you will be you'll get the newsletter and get the discount. And I can say, like, they have a contact form, so if it's not if it doesn't if for whatever reason there's a problem, you can do the contact us. But newsletter sign up, the button's down here. Now, I do want to draw your attention to a couple of other things that have happened with the Locksmith stream, because it has been a while since we've talked about this, and I did want to, I can't remember if I said this in this video because I had to re-record it, but I do actually have another video that's going to be coming out on the Locksmith stream. It's just been taking forever to get done. But the new, one of their most recent blogs have a few other details. So one of the things that, again, I got a chance to talk with Ivan about this. They'd been thinking of some different ways to make the impact of buying a ticket a little bit less intense at the moment, because they're sympathetic to the problem that people are running into. Like in the event, the event itself is sort of priced to kind of match what the experience is, right? It is like a rented out manner. It's a special venue. It is one that actually costs more at certain periods of the year. There's a luxury dinner. This is a vacation, right? And in the end, right, not all of us can necessarily afford to take vacations. I've been on both sides of this, right? I'm in a position now where I can sort of consider doing something like this with saving up, and I can know times in my life where I would want to do something like this but not necessarily be able to afford it. So again, I do apologize for people who I'm encouraging this sort of stuff for, and it is it's a question about means. But for those of you that have been considering it and maybe have been put off because of the large upfront cost, I think they'd been trying to work out, there's a few companies now that are basically kind of offering installment loans. And the problem with this, right, is you kind of need to know who you're getting in business with. And obviously, if that company is trying to take a bunch of money from the Locksmith stream, possibly that might mean the ticket price for the Locksmith stream is going up. And in this case, it's, everybody's sort of suffering by giving in these payment options. So they've settled on what seems like a pretty interesting solution here. So there's a payment option now, and essentially it's a deposit system. So there's the 2023 room deposit. And essentially the idea is that you can put £600 down for any of the 2023 room bookings. It is also refundable 10 days after purchase. So if circumstances change, you are able to sort of refund it. However, you're not able to refund. You basically can't put down the deposit and then months later decide that you don't want to go. One of the things that they are doing with this is trying to gauge overall interest in the event. But in any case, the idea here is that you can partially pay for a ticket up front, and then, your credit card cycles and you work some odd jobs, maybe you mow some lawns or whatever it is that you do to get the rest of the money. But essentially this will put a partial installment, and then essentially they kind of give you a code to use on the site to pay for the rest of your ticket. Now, on that note, the event. There are 2 announced dates for the event. I definitely, from my understanding, they plan on doing more, but this is just what they have locked in and everything sort of signed in terms of booking the venue and all of that. And they're coming up fairly soon. So if you want to get your tickets, I would recommend doing so sooner rather than later. And in this case, there is Wednesday, the 29th of March, and then there's a weekend one. Now, I believe the weekend ones cost a little bit more. But on April the 1st, there is actually a masked ball. Now, I don't know a ton about this, but this hasn't happened before. And this is actually something that, again, I got a chance to talk with Ivan. These are some of the ideas that they were kicking around while making it. And obviously, none of this happened in the beta events or that. Although they did do some extra things around Yule, from what I understand. So this is the other tricky thing, right? We're hoping that more people talk about what the event is like, because it seems like different things happened in each of the different events. But in any case, other events will take place over the year and be announced when available for booking, with the next run towards the end of May 2023. So not too far off of these events as well. I believe I think there are a couple cases where the venue is booked, but they're waiting for essentially they're just sort of waiting to sort of dole things out over time. But again, it's always best to go for the it's always best to kind of go for the event. So number one, you can already get 14% off just by signing up for the newsletter. So you can do that here. Number two, if one of the things that was keeping you from attending the Locksmith's Dream was not so much the overall cost, but the ability for you to sort of cover that all in one go, there's now a way that you can put £600 ahead, and then you can sort of put that towards the events that'll be running throughout the year. Right now, you've got over a month in terms of being able to get the preparations for the existing events. And then it says towards the end of May, although again, my suspicion is that there's going to be, well, not even my suspicion. I don't know how many events they have. In the end, for the business to be viable, they have to run a certain number of events. But in this case, they will announce, they'll announce when the tickets become available. And that's one of the things that the newsletter is going to do. This video is taking a little bit longer than I had planned. So there is one last thing that I want to draw people's attention to, and that is the curator's cabinet. So again, not everybody is necessarily going to be able to go to Treowin. I live in North America. And so the idea, and actually, I also don't know that many people. So, it would be, I would need to try and take advantage of some of the different ways that people get in touch with each other for the, to try and share a room or that. But what they have started doing with the curator's cabinet is they are taking pieces of the event and they're making them available for you to purchase. So in this case, there are a number of the pin badges. There are printed and bound journals. Now, from what I understand, these are not the same as the ones you get in the event. I believe the ones you get in the event, from my understanding, have special knowledge dedicated to the event. So these are similar looking, but I suspect there's going to be a lot more material for writing, and I would not be surprised if there is, actually I think it outright says there is information that's not, information. Basically you have to go to the event if you want like the printed out version. It's a little bit like the USB key thing that Cultist Simulator did. If you were a Kickstarter backer, you get all of the like files related to making the game. And if you're, someone just buying the object, then you get the place to store whatever you want. There's also some coasters here as well. Now, if I recall correctly, it's not just journals. So there's the limited edition folio, there's postcards, there's a number of different things here. And someone did let me know these are not the only pins available. Apparently, there is a secret version of this store for people who have attended the Locksmith Dream. So if you happen to be watching this video and you've gone to the Locksmith Dream, you may want to check your email because I believe there is a special link for people who've attended it. But in any case, this is one of the ways where, again, a little bit like the Church of Merch for Cultist Simulator, not everybody's necessarily going to be able to do the vacation, but there are a lot of cool little things. I think the Lighthouse Institute pen looks really good. I actually quite like the Kerisham Review one as well. Actually, I like all of the pins, really. But there's a few extra things to buy. And of course, if you're interested in picking these up, you can get yourself 14% off just by signing up for the newsletter. So I hope that was useful for a number of you. Obviously, it's up to you kind of to see where this is all going. I think probably for most people, there's the interest, and then it's just a question in terms of, can they go, can they make the time, so on and so forth. I'm definitely hoping that a few of you have learned about things that were available, because I definitely know, at least sort of talking in the Discord and such, people were talking about the idea of installments. So I'm really hoping, I know they put some effort into getting the payment option down. So I'm hoping that people take advantage of that, just because I know that it was something there was some effort in. But the biggest takeaway is certainly at least get yourself 14% off. And like I said, the first puzzle is not that challenging. So I'm sure they will probably ramp up over time. But for those of you looking to get half off, or maybe even just want to give the gift of half off to someone, I figure it's good to get puzzling. So hopefully you all, actually, I'm hoping one of you who's watching wins this. But take care. Thank you for watching this 20-minute video, and we will see you in the next Cultist Simulator episode, and of course, whatever future Locksmith stream video I do.